Good morning, guys. Welcome to FYI. For your information, believe it or not, it's already the 28th day of February. Seems like a special day for some reason. The 28th day of February, folks. How are you guys doing out there? Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear, wherever you're coming in from. See, a lot of folks are already joining us on YouTube. Our tubers, how you guys are doing there? Great to see you, folks. Debbie Collins, we see you. We see you, Marlon Jacobs. Good to see you, Dolly Anderson, Karen Mohammed. Great to see you, Debbie Collins says slippers on the ground. We're backing down. Great to have each and every one of you here with us. Good folks. Edward Brooms. Good to see you, Edward. Beatrice Selby, we see you as well, Beatrice. Great to have each and every one of you on the live. Y'all know how we see it. Rastaman, good to see you as well, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are happy. We have each and every one of you here with us. Good folks. Kyle Bino is here as well. Lionel Simon is here too. Good to have you. Divine Guidance is here too. That's some of what we need this morning. This Wednesday, the 28th day of February 2024. Adonai Domini in the year of our Lord. Good to have you. Gloria Chest is here too. Vanessa Ward. Gloria, we hope you're good today. Pace and power. Hope you're great. Vanessa Ward, Dean, Rastaman, Terrence, and all you other beautiful, fantastic folks joining us today. Pace and power. Terrence Beaton is here as well. Everett Leonard. Good to have you here. Sudhari, Suchan. Good to have you. Evelina Whitaker. Good to see you, Evelina, and all the other folks joining us. Of course, it's a privilege, folks. It's a privilege having each and every one of you here with us. It's a privilege. Great to have all of you on the live this morning. We got quite a few things to talk to you guys about as we come on this morning. Lots happening, folks. Fires, CARICOM meeting, the Ghana Teachers Union and strike. Lots happening, folks. That oil spilling. Tobago got some fallouts as well. Great to have each and every one of you on the live this morning. As you come on, the scores of you already who joined us at home here in Guyana, where we're broadcasting live from the national capital city or somewhere around the world in the diaspora, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to FYI. Great to see each and every one of you this morning. Share the live, good folks. Smash that emoji button. Another day, better than that service this morning. Happy to be on. Another day, folks. We got to get to it. Got to do what we got to do. And again, good to have each and every one of you with us. So much to share with you folks this morning. Welcome. What are you guys having for breakfast? What hot beverage you have in your utensil? What hot beverage you're managing this morning? Donnet Harding George is here with us. Valletta Klein is here with us too. And Linda Webster, Jolly Anderson, Linda Webster, Jolly Anderson. Great to have you folks here with us. Kyle, Bino, Valletta, Rastaman. Ingrid Crawford is here too. Good morning, Ingrid. Hope you and the family are well. Magnell Barrow is here too. Magnell. Great to see you. Chevron Fraser. Good to have you. Frasers are generally nice people. I find, generally nice people. Tony Hack is here too. Tony, welcome. Roxy McCannon is on the live. Unity Elias on the live as well. Jolly Anderson, Sheena Hazel, Karen Mohammed. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. Good folks. We got a couple things to get through. We got a couple things to get through, folks. And again, we hope you guys are good. We hope that you guys had a great night's rest. The night is far spent, folks. Another day is upon us. And we got to hit the ground running. Joel Ward, Cecile Ogle, Lynn Fernand. Lynn, thanks for the thing. Right at you. Thanks for the thing, Lynn. Thanks for the things. Who don't know? If you don't know, don't worry about it. No homework on this side as yet. If you don't know, don't worry about it, right? You're missing nothing. Please and thank you. You're not missing anything. Lynn, thanks for the thing. And all the other folks, right? Surret, thanks for the thing. Thanks. Thank you. If you don't know, you don't know. Folks, I started sipping this cup of coffee, but 3 hours ago. Still at it. Still at it. Desiree Blair. Good to see you, Desiree. Veston, Mark, and Beryl. Good to have all of you on the live, good folks. Great to have you on the live. How are you all folks doing this Wednesday morning? It's the middle of the week. Take it easy out there. Donna, George, thank you for that contribution to our broadcast. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. It's going to help us so far away. It's the middle of the week, folks, and we want to remind you, it's a good time to remind you, folks, as Don has made that suggestion there, that you contribute to our broadcast so that we can keep moving forward. You know, we wish we used to run and watch. We didn't have to ask anybody for anything. We got pride like that. We got pride like that. Wish we didn't have to ask anybody for anything. You're going to see that link flitting by. You're going to see that link coming by your end, folks, where you can contribute if you have a debit or a credit card. The link is there. You can contribute using that link. Very secure. Haven't had a problem with a soul since we launched that sometime towards the end of last year. Hadn't had a complaint from anybody, the information compromised or anything like that. Very, very secure link from an international company. If you have a debit or a credit card, you want to send us a love offering. You want to send us a monetary gift to help to keep our program going. That's how you can do it, folks. That being said, the first 15 things, let me make myself comfortable. I'm going to be here a little while. Folks, I'm happy, as I talk about making myself comfortable, that we invested in a good chair. About 2 years ago, 2.5, had a chair here. Still got it in the studio. Used to hurt my back terribly. I bought an executive chair, thanks to your contribution. Cost us about $47,000. That's about 250 US. You know, it's much more comfortable. Haven't had a complaint. I haven't had a back pain problem since, due to my sitting arrangement. Haven't had a back pain problem since. You know, thanks to you guys, somebody had gifted us a used chair, and we used it up until that time, and we couldn't use it anymore. And thanks to you folks, we got something nice here. You know, after 2.5 years, it creaks a little bit. We gotta oil it back again, but good to go. Good to have each and every one of you folks. First 15 things is a lot. It's a lot, folks, and we're starting with that Tobago oil spill. And as you know, this has implications for Guyana on a number of fronts. One, if we don't take care of ourselves here, we could find ourselves going the way that Tobago has to go, counting the cost. And not only internally, in terms of the impact to Tobago. Last evening, we shared that this oil spill had reached a place in the Caribbean Sea called Bonaire. Grenada is being affected by this, and Venezuela too said that they saw some of the oil slick coming towards them. And now we got reports there in Trinidad and Tobago that a business on the coastline has had to shut its door because of this oil spill that was caused by this tanker you're seeing there. Overturned. That's the bottom of the tanker you're seeing there. You know, did I say that before? That's the bottom you're seeing there. And Cafe Al Fresco in Lambo, Tobago, that has a fishing area as well. The area is called Lambo. Folks, let me give you a little aside. You know, my Trinidadian counterpart, one of them, I was messaging that I was in Lambo. I spelled it Lambo, of course, according to my pronunciation, Lambo. And then I learned it's a French word, and it's spelled for our collective edification, Lambeau. Beau. Lambeau. Lambo. So this cafe has had to close because of the impact of the oil on the shore. And we'll see more of this. And it's one of the reasons why Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago on the whole, said it couldn't tell us what was the immediate impact in terms of cost, because they have to look at it over time. The proprietor of this establishment, Cafe Al Fresco, Right? Alpheus Paul made this disclosure that the business has had to close as a result of the fuel spill that we now know to be what bunker fuel, bunker C, caused by this overturned vessel on February 7th. So their workers are out of jobs. And the owner says that the business has suffered about 20,000 TC dollars in losses since it's a beachfront property in Lambo. And good folks, they're counting the cost there. They're counting the cost, and we have made a point. I know some of you, oh God, I could be in that beach right now. It's a lovely place, folks. I didn't know Tobago was so nice. I didn't know Tobago was so nice. But as you know, we were there on business to get a first-hand look at this oil spill. And this vessel is small in this video here. You should see the actual size, because remember, this is holding thousands of gallons of, now we know, bunker C. Right? Naomi wants to know how the boat overturned. It was being towed by a tug called the Solo Creed. And we don't know all of the details, but folks want to believe that for some reason it capsized. One reason or the next. It capsized. They're off the coast. And as you know by now, some local folks here in Guyana have been implicated. One businessman came out recently and said he has had nothing to do with this. He never owned a boat. He don't ship fuel. And he know nothing but it. And then GPL came out saying that none of their contractors is associated with this vessel. But the tugboat crew and the crew of this vessel that they call they said it's named the Collie Boy, they have vanished. They have vanished. They vanished. So these are some of the things we're following, folks. This morning, they vanished, disappeared. But oh, that's a beach for two, folks. So beautiful, so serene. You know, it must be the ninth wonder of the world. And when people say there is no God, I'm going to argue with y'all. The issue is on. But to stand on that beach and to see the vast expanse of such beauty, you see intelligent design at work, stitching it all together. Lou and Hall and Debbie Collin and Forbes and Mavis and Brenda. Makes you wonder, you know, as I read in one book many years ago about the possibility of God. That was the phrase. But when you see it all, said there's some higher power at work here. Some higher power at work. So, folks, Tobago is counting the cost. Maxine Williams, Sonia Sargent, Leslyn and Edwards, Loretta, counting the cost of that oil spill there off of the coast of Tobago. And they tell us that boat, you see that vessel is resting on a coral reef. They tell us it could be generations until that reef is able to repair itself. Your children, your grandchildren, their children and their grandchildren will come and go, and the reef will not be repaired. That's how long these things take. So they're counting the cost. And generations from now, they'll be counting the cost. And even though you can't see it, the experts tell us that boat there is rocking on the reef, causing even more damage. And as we spoke to the experts on the ground, they tell us of the importance of those reefs. Right? They tell us of the importance of those reefs. One of the importance of the reef is to break the strength of the waves as they hit the shoreline. And if that is damaged, Tobago counting the cost, folks. Again, GPL said they're not involved. Businessman came forward, he's been implicated, said, I don't ship fuel, I own a boat. I'm not involved, he said unequivocally. Yep, counting the costs, folks. That's just one of the things we're following. And as we come now into the 592, The authorities tell us they are monitoring a brush fire in Latem. They're monitoring a brush fire in Latem. Folks, Latem is immensely beautiful. Immensely beautiful. But I'll say this. You know it's cheaper to go to Trinidad than to Latem? Or it's about the same price? Yeah, believe it or not, to go to Latem, return is about $80,000. Believe it or not, 80,000 Ghana dollars. It's around the same thing to go to Trinidad. Right? And then from Trinidad, to get to Tobago is 60 US return. Did you know that? To get to Tobago is 60 US return. That's how much? $11,000, $12,000. Return by air. It's cheaper with the boat, but it's 4 hours by the ferry to jump on a Caribbean Airlines flight. They call it the air bridge. 60 US return to Tobago. Right. So for about $90,000, $95,000, you could be in Tobago. It's an hour to Piarco, 20 minutes hop over to Tobago, and an hour and a half, you could be in Tobago. But the price of going to Latem, we gotta bring down internal fares, man. We gotta bring down those internal fares. The point I wanted to make is not the price for the fares necessarily, but Latem in its own right is immensely beautiful. Very, very beautiful. And I'm making a plug for our own tourism product. You know, it's a shame that some of us, we grew up in Georgetown or your own enclave and you never leave there, right? Put some places on your bucket list, folks. We as a people in this country, especially those of us who reside in this country, Guyana, we just work and we dead. Right? Vacation is more work. Don't do that to yourself. Some of you take a 2 weeks vacation, that's a turn on to the housework. And you spring clean and you wash and you press and you hang up stuff. Folks, we can dead and gone and we get blind for press and wash. And furniture to fix. We have some immensely beautiful places in this country. Right? Sheila Hazel says she loves my cup. It was a gift, Sheila, from some lovely, beautiful folks. I got about 3 of them. And I'm welcoming more, believe it or not. I love it. I love it. I hope you, I think our what do you call it, the resolution of the camera is up a little too much in it. You might just see it glaring a little too much there. You don't see the white as well. So white balance. So the authorities are monitoring this brush fire in Latem. I'm making a plug for beautiful places like Latem. You got the Taco 2 Hotel in Latem, reasonable prices, very close to the airport. The further out you go, North Pacaraima, South Pacaraima is more expensive. It is. So I'm making a plug. You know, see our countries, and they got a lot of tourists, operators and packages. But that's happening in Latem, folks. The authorities are managing this brush fire. And not to be outdone. Not to be outdone as we run fires. Not to be outdone as we run fires. The folks at Bat Settlement in Berbice are telling us that yesterday, close to the seawalls, the shore, a huge expanse of the bush there was on fire. Yeah. It's never a dull moment. So we got Latem, we got Bat Settlement, Berbice, Region 5, Region 9. It's a lot happening. And last evening we reported a couple of persons are homeless due to a fire at Craig as well. So all that we monitoring is fires. Sabrina Blue, Luan Hall, Edward Rooms, Dwayne Collins, Augusta Logal, fires. Rumors of fires. Forbes Meduse, Wilton Blue. Wilton, how are you doing? Good to see you on the live this morning. Haven't seen your name pop up in a little bit. Right? With a little bit. Hear what Wilton Blue says. Wilton makes the point you can do vacation in Guyana based on the salary you have. You can't do it. That's what Wilton says. You just can't do it. It's true. On 6.5, you only get one side. one side of the fare. With a 6.5, you even make one side. But upper quarantine as well yesterday, residents were reporting smoke. A lot of smoke, they said, coming from the direction of Suriname. So it's way up the quarantine. And the EPA issued an advisory that they were looking into the problem, talking with the Surinamese authorities there to see what was happening. We don't have a deeper report on this matter, but folks, upper quarantine region 6 reported a lot of smoke was coming. What's Santokilim? Like Santokilim got a big barbecue, right? What's happening there? Suriname, a lot of smoke, region 6. Residents were reporting in upper quarantine. Again, the EPA issued an advisory, said we're looking into the matter. Right? Looking into the matter. So you're watching that, folks. We're watching that as well. Let them brush fire, bad settlement, bushfire, and now upper quarantine. Region 6. Smoke. Well, you know they say, where there is smoke, Camille, there's fire. And Camille Cox, one of our hard-working councillors there in Region 6, says that the smoke is hitting New Amsterdam. Unity Lice wants to know if the EPA is still functioning. Why you like that? Folks, as you come on, do us a big favor, share the live, smash that emoji button for us, folks, and others get the valid and the credible information. It's great to have so many of you on the broadcast this morning. Laverne Wade said Chester too. There was a fire in Chester. Thanks. Thank you, mother-in-law. My mother-in-law's on the live, Laverne Wade. In Chester too, there was a fire. Almost forgot that. I think a house went down there in Chester. Not so? Yeah, a house was raised in Chester. Fires, folks, fires, and more fires. Andrew Griffith says Guyana's in a mess. At least 2 persons not watching our program and calling us. At least 2 persons not watching the program. Or they probably don't believe that we're live, you know. like we live. At least 2 persons ringing our phone, not watching the program, because clearly they'd be seeing that we're on. We're live and living color. In addition to that, we saw a container, one of those freight container trucks, loaded with a container, overturned at the Suzdike Junction last evening. Now you can say, Andrew, Guyana's in a mess. Now you can say that. Guyana's in a mess. Naomi says it's your friend calling. I know the story. Naomi, you know the whole thing. You know the whole thing. Yeah. Clearly not watching. And maybe they're watching to see my response if I see the phone ringing. Well, I've seen it. So let me ease up now. Vanilla Garnett, good to see you. Donna Liverpool, great to see you as well. And Mark and Amita Carroll, good to see all of you folks on the broadcast this morning. On the live this morning, said overturned truck. Never dull moment. Kyle says the EPA only functions to sign EIA waivers, the environmental impact assessment waivers. They only function to do that for ExxonMobil, Kyle says. And then he adds, Pim. Please and thank you. Pim pim. That's what he says. Pim pim. Yeah. Please and thank you. Seeing a note also by Neville Seatel. Watching that, Neville, and watching that. Avril Farrell. Seeing you too. Whitney Doran. Seeing you as well, and all the other folks. Jacqueline and Naomi. Seeing all of you folks. Truck topple last evening. Causing the fuss. The teacher strike is still on, folks. Those of you who are here in Guyana, your slippers been on the ground. Have your slippers been on the ground? And we see, folks, that the CEO, the Chief Education Officer, Saddam Hussein, that's the fellow's name, not trying to make light at all of his actions, as Saddam Hussein-esque, but the fellow's name is Saddam Hussein. We see Saddam trying to bring even more hardships to the teachers, because teachers see there's a threat that they're being told that they have to log in when they're in or out of school, or else. Matthew, Damon, you know, it's always the or else. It's always the or else for you, Leslie Hamilton. Leon Blair is always the or else. Who shared the line for us this morning? Honestly, to get this credible and valid information, it's always the or else. Please and thank you. I looked at this shirt and jacket. I wear it more. It's always the or else for us, good folks. We gotta watch that. And some teachers have labeled this as a scare tactic. They said, don't bother with Saddam too much. We put Saddam in his place once, and we can do it again. It's scare tactics. As you know by now, the High Court, Sandal Kisoon, Justice Sandal Kisoon, handed down a decision that until the matter currently before the court comes to finality, no deduction of salaries from teachers' pay for striking, no deduction of salaries, and also that the union dues must continue to be remitted. That's what it said. That's what the decision of the court says. So teachers are seeing this memorandum that's floating about as scare tactics. As scare tactics, but that's the PEP for you. And we already know that given some of Saddam's comments to the COI, right, he is more of an activist chief education officer than a professional. Given some of his comments that were carried widely in the media, Starbuck News called him out on it. Now, he doesn't sound like a chief education officer. Saddam Hussein sounds like an activist, sounds like a mouthpiece for the People's Progressive Party-led administration. Right? But time longer than twine. As we say in the vernacular, long time gone, but short time come. Scare tactic. Don't bother with it. But you, members of the public, viewing us, have you gone out there to give your support? Good morning, Sonia. Sonia Massicop joining us from Maryland. Now, we got beautiful Guyanese contributing to keeping our flag flying high. So many parts of the world. And Sonia Massicop is one of those Guyanese. Like so many of you watching us. You know, you work in the diaspora, you live and work in the diaspora, and you keep doing us proud. You know, you go out there and you work diligently, you send the remittances back home. You keep doing us proud. Thank you, folks. The Saddam doing the most. Folks, Saddam is doing the most. So we're watching that. One of the things we're watching, what would I do for nice pot bake right now? What would I do for nice pot bake right now, folks? All right. You all know how it is. You all know how, what I would do now for a nice pot bake. But that's one of the things we're following, folks, coming out of this teacher's strike. And we saw also yesterday the Guyana Teachers Union saying that government must take the blame for the learning loss being experienced by students, while teachers got to be on the protest line, asking for a livable wage, asking government to come back to the negotiating table and collective bargaining, that the government has to bear the responsibility for that because it's been so recalcitrant, it's been so callous. That's all the dictionary this morning. They don't want to come to the bargaining table because, of course, who's the Ghana Teachers Union? How dare the Ghana Teachers Union? But when government change, you can hear the tune change, you know. Oh, we support the Ghana Teachers Union efforts. We support the Ghana Teachers Union efforts. But you got to call out the hypocrisy. The way Member Parliament, Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister, called out Irfan Ali's hypocrisy yesterday on the Haitian issue. These are the folks who believe in 50% raise for public servants when we didn't even start spending the oil money. And now they got the oil money. Dura. Wave me Doris. Dura. Tessa Waterman and Lyndon Gill. That's how they got it. Dura. But they don't want to spend it on our teachers and our public servants. No, friends, family, and favorites. Folks, we have hundreds of persons watching our morning program, and we're so grateful. If half of you, folks, could you make that commitment? Some of you can be boots on the ground for whatever reason. You're not in Guyana, right? All of you who are watching us in the diaspora, could you make the commitment to share? Some of y'all make up in your heart. I ain't sending you a cent. I ain't know what to do with me money, living big and large. All right, don't buy with all that. Share the light for us. Let that be your contribution. Hundreds of you. And we've noted when the program is done, we get about 40 shares, 50 shares. That's well and good, and we welcome and are thankful for those persons who do that. But hundreds of you come and get news and information. You all stop buying the papers. You know, this is your stop for what's happening. As we start today with the first 15 things we think you guys should be focused on. But we want to give you guys a little responsibility. You don't want to put on your slippers and go put the ground. You don't want to send me a fine change to keep the broadcast going. Oh. Smash that emoji button for us. Share the live when you come on. When you come back to watch the program. Help us in that way. Government, the Ghana Teachers Union saying, have to bear the blame, take the blame, bear the burden of the learning loss that might be experienced by our students while our teachers are on the picket line. Mr. Norton has restated his own support for teachers on the picket line. And yesterday, I made a public statement to this effect, on this matter and to this effect, that we are standing in support of our teachers. Please and thank you. So while you share the live, folks, that others get valid and credible information, while you share the live, while you smash that emoji button, folks, this is some of what Mr. Norton said just yesterday on this matter of the support for the Ghana Teachers Union and our teachers broadly on the protest line. Take a look, folks, and take a listen.
I address you today regarding the ongoing teacher strike that has persisted for the last 22 days. It is imperative that I clarify our stance on this matter, particularly in the light of the fact that some are suggesting that the opposition has not raised its voice enough on this issue. First and foremost, let me express our concern for the welfare of our educators and by extension, the future of our children. Education is the cornerstone of progress, and the dedication of our teachers is indispensable to the development of our nation. Our teachers must be adequately paid and operate in a comfortable student and teacher-friendly atmosphere. It must be recalled that on the 6th of February 2024, the day after the strike commenced, the opposition in its press release said, and I quote, "The coalition stands firmly with the teachers of Guyana during this crucial time," unquote. We have limited our statements on this matter until now, not out of apathy or indifference, but out of a sincere desire to prevent any misconceptions regarding the nature of this strike. Contrary to the assertions of some, our restraint does not signify a lack of concern for the teachers, the inability to engage the government, or our willingness to address this issue comprehensively. We have abstained from vociferous public discourse precisely because we do not wish this vital issue to be caught in partisan political conjecture. Unlike Jack Dale when he was in opposition, we consider this issue too important to be dragged into a partisan political squabble. And instead, we chose to allow the teachers to have their say in the hope that good sense would have prevailed and that the government would have at least engaged with the G team in an effort to bring this matter to some form of resolution. We have been painfully reminded that this uncaring government has no such intention. It is now obvious that this impasse will continue. And as such, we have chosen to make this statement both to underscore our support for the teachers and call the PPPC government to task for its hard and unconscionable stance in not engaging with the teachers through their union for the greater good. The government may be thinking that they don't want to show weakness and must hold out against all comers. But let me be clear. This is not a time for one-upmanship. Our teachers are suffering. Our children are suffering. The vendors who work around the schools are suffering. The transportation workers who transport our students and teachers are suffering. Every parent who has a child is suffering. All our people are suffering because this government considers itself above the people and refuses to understand that they are to serve rather than to dictate. And we condemn this intransigence by the government in the harshest terms possible. It is a matter of public record that during our tenure in government, when faced with a similar situation, the APNU AFC government acceded to the demands of the teachers. This was not weakness or merely a political maneuver, but a recognition of the invaluable contribution of our educators to the development of our society. We understood then, as we do now, that investing in education is investing in our nation's present and future. It is regrettable that the current regime has allowed this impasse to endure for so long. Despite the availability of the oil resources as referenced by the recent $1 trillion budget. Clearly, for this administration, roads are more important than people. Chadi Jagan, a leader who stood for the rights of the people, must be turning in his grave. There is no doubt that the monies are available to pay the teachers and all public servants, and the suggestion that the cost of raising salary for teachers cannot be considered is untenable and unacceptable. Our children should not be held hostage to political brinkmanship. The longer the strike persists, the greater the harm inflicted upon the most vulnerable members of our society. Government should note that by their actions, They are creating the conditions for all public servants to consider whether they too should come out on the picket line. Because as the cost of living skyrockets, wages have not kept up. The poor are getting poorer as the rich thrive. And we know who the rich are in this country. Let me be unequivocal. When the APNU AFC government returns to power next year, we will prioritize the well-being of our teachers and all public servants. We will ensure that the benefits of our nation's resources meet the needs of all our public servants and of all Guyanese, rather than accruing solely to the elite, families, friends, and favorites of the chosen few. The oil revenues that rightly belong to the people of Guyana will be utilized to uplift all segments of our society, fostering a more just and prosperous nation for generations to come. In conclusion, let us not lose sight of the urgency of this moment. Our teachers and all public servants deserve better. Our children deserve better, and our nation deserves better. Together, let us work towards a brighter future where the promise of Guyana is fulfilled for all its citizens. It is now patently obvious that if we want to see change, we have to come together and change the government. Together we stand, divided we fall. Thank you.
Yep. That is some of what Mr. Norton said just yesterday on the issue of this teacher strike. Yeah. Valid, credible information, folks. Valid and credible information. We want to advise that those of you who might be watching us someplace else than via our YouTube channel, we want to encourage you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ensure that you look for us on YouTube at credible sources and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because some of the information that we will share and publish, we're not even going to post it to Facebook. They're too fast. Posting it specifically to our YouTube channel. There's a repository of all the information, and you can go back and watch on demand in your own time. Good. So a lot of the stories we're going to be publishing directly to our YouTube channel. We encourage you guys to subscribe. If you might be viewing us from our YouTube channel this morning, but you haven't subscribed, look for that button. Look for that button. All right? Subscribe. All right, subscribe. Look for the button. It says subscribe. Look, subscribe. Jilly G. I see you there, Jilly G. I see you there. Thank you for that contribution. Will keep us going, folks, and firing on all six. Or it's three. Or it's four. Folks, thank you so much, Jilly G, for that contribution there. And thanks also to Donna George, who made a contribution to our broadcast this morning as well. Donna George and Jilly G, thank you guys so much. They made a contribution. You know, once we live, folks, on YouTube, if you purchase a sticker, part of that proceeds come to our broadcast on YouTube. If you purchase a sticker, and also on Facebook, we encourage you to purchase the stars too. That feature there, the stars feature, and part of that proceeds too on Facebook. You purchase a star or two, part of that comes to our broadcast as well. Some of y'all like, is we talking? You'll understand it better by and by, folks. Not to worry. You'll understand it better by and by. So ensure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you're joining us on our Facebook page, ensure that you follow our page as well. Hit that follow icon, folks. As we were viewing there, Mr. Norton restating his support for our teachers. And the Ghana Teachers Union also telling us that an international body says that they're going to submit this matter to the UN if the government continues to pay scant regard to this issue, that they're going to submit this matter to the United Nations, and in particular the International Labour Organization. And this is the Global Union Federation, which represents 32.5 million teachers globally. telling the GTU that if government fails to pay heed to this issue, then they'll have no choice but to refer this matter to the UN's International Labour Organization. Got to do what you got to do. And I'm very happy to see that the Ghana Teachers Union, they're treating this matter in a very, very proactive, proactive manner. Kathleen Peters, Lyndon Gill, Debbie Collins, Roxanne Judas, Wade Doris, and Brian Daniels. You got to do what you got to do, and that's what they're telling us this morning. The CARICOM Summit, they're in retreat, folks. They're in retreat. They've been in retreat. Some criminal leaders have been in retreat for a little while now, especially as it is advancing CARICOM. You know, when did we start talking about CSME? We're still talking about free trade and free movement. How much does it take to host a CARICOM summit? How much does it take? We could probably solve some of Haiti's problem if we had foregone the conference and the cost, the summit and the cost. So we can make a donation to Haiti, put them back on the feet. The potential that is CARICOM must become performance. Well, they retreat. They retreated to Splashmans. I heard some folks were in a 2-piece, some in a 1-piece. Right? Some are in their own colors too. You know, Ralph always got a your boy, Big Brick Ralph, always got to do their own thing. But the CARICOM Summit retreated quite recently. They said they don't know if the attire was Ali's doing. But Ralph, like he's his own way puppy. You know, as we say in the vernacular, like Ralph is his own way puppy. Right? He's his own way puppy. Everybody else is white. He in Venezuelan blue. What's wrong with Ralph? But the word on the street is that Irfan ran out of cloth. And Ralph just had to come. Irfan ran out of cloth and Ralph just had to turn up. Just turn up. I see like them boys walking on water. All manner of things there at Splash Bins. They retreated to Splash Bins. Naomi, you're too much, you know. Naomi said, Ali just look wrong. The big Sahib just look wrong. People say that about Ralph too. Just look wrong. Pim. CARICOM gonna come out of retreat. And I ain't just talking about splashments. Gotta come out of retreat. Come out of retreat. And let's actually advance some of these issues. Come out of retreat, CARICOM. Right. Come out of this reclusive, exclusive boys club, boys and girls club. The elite of the region. Come out of this retreat you run. Leslyn and Kyle and Audrey. CARICOM, some say, and carry on. What do you say? Wrapping up, folks. Wrapping up, as CARICOM leaders are meeting, remember the hypocrisy pointed out with our finale? Haitians are on the ground too, quite recently, and the Haitians are saying they want to meet with CARICOM leaders. How come y'all talking about we and we inside? How come we're not around the table? And we saw some reporting from News Source, that other valid and credible place for information. We saw some reporting from News Source on this. The Haitians were on the ground and said, we want to meet with CARICOM leaders. Since Haiti is so high on the agenda, we want to meet with CARICOM leaders. And as we said to you early on, and last evening's broadcast as well, it was a Manzo Walton Desir who called out Irfan and his hypocrisy, his son love for Haitians and the Haitian cause, calling out his hypocrisy yesterday. Take a look at some of what he said and Amanzo Walton Desir, Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister, her response. Take a look.
In the interests of the people of Haiti, because our region has one interest when it comes to Haiti. That is the people of Haiti. And we will not deviate from that interest, the people of Haiti.
So let's talk about what we just heard. What we just heard there was Air Finale waxing lyrical about the rights and interests of the Haitian people. That it was Air Finale and his government that revoked the visa free travel arrangement that had been signed into law by former President David Granger. The executive order, Guyanese remember, would have allowed Haitian brothers and sisters, in keeping with Guyana's obligations under the revised Treaty of Chagaramas, to come to Guyana to be entitled to an automatic 6 month stay, and they didn't require a visa. One of Irfanali's first order of business was to revoke that order and he reimposed the visa requirements on Haitians. So understand why we have to call out his hypocrisy. Guyanese also remember that it was Irfanali and his government that unceremoniously detained 26 Haitian brothers and sisters for weeks at the Hugo Chavez Reintegration Center on the ground that they were victims of human trafficking. Guyanese remember the outrage and the attempts by the Attorney General and Landlord to justify the holding and the detention of the victims of the crime. Guyanese also know that up to today, no one has been charged in connection with the trafficking of these or the alleged trafficking of the 26 Haitians. We remember as well that it was the Chief Justice of Guyana that struck down the deportation order that was obtained for these 26 Haitian brothers and sisters. You remember that the government had gone to court and they had obtained the deportation order. You remember as well that the Chief Justice said that that order had not been obtained in accordance with the rules of natural justice, and that the deportation order flouted and infringed the constitutional provisions enshrined in the Guyana Constitution relative to the freedom of movement and the protection against deprivation of personal liberty. The starkest example or the starkest situation that provides incontrovertible evidence of the hypocrisy of Ali and his regime lies in the juxtaposition of the treatment of our Haitian brothers as against the accommodation we see with the Venezuelan migrants. The government of Guyana has been vociferous in terms of the justification for the aid and the accommodation that it continues to provide for Venezuelan migrants. They say, they proffer that Venezuelans are fleeing from political unrest and economic hardship. But Irfan and his government must explain to us how the situation being faced by our Haitian brothers and sisters is any different from what is being faced by our Venezuelan brothers and sisters. Yet, we see Irfan and his government singling out our Haitian brothers and sisters for this retrogressive, unfavorable treatment. If Irfan Ali is serious about presenting himself as the champion of the Haitian cause, then I challenge him to reverse his course of action and reinstate the order that allowed our Haitian brothers and sisters to enjoy hassle-free travel to Guyana, that allowed them to enjoy an automatic 6 month stay on arrival. Then and only then we can take him seriously.
Yeah, that was Amanzo Walton Desir, the shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, calling him out. Reverse the order. You suddenly have discovered a love for Haitians. Reverse the order. This is somebody talking about agriculture, and we saw some figures put out recently. They're telling us that Guyana has reduced its agricultural imports by 14% between 2021 and 2022. You know, you got to verify. Don't trust a word this government says to you. Don't trust a word they say to you. We got to verify that. We don't see any figures at how they got to this. But we remember at the Agri Investment Forum and Expo 2 years ago, they said a lot of things, right? They said a lot of things. They wanted to reduce the import bill, the 30 million US import bill. This was CARICOM widely by 25% by 2025. They've said the agriculture import in Guyana, they've reduced that by 14%. Maybe that's the reason why we're so hungry in this country. A number of things they said they were doing. We saw them trying with the bow-leg shrimp, the cross-eyed Brahman bull, the black belly sheep. How is that doing? The brackish water shrimp, how is that project doing? The Pacific white leg shrimp, how is that project going? You don't hear about these things, you know. You hear about them when there's a launch, and then they tick that box. Promise delivered. The shrimp research. Millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars poured into these projects. How is that going? The effort to increase poultry production, how is that going? The corn and soya production, how is that going? You know, the Americans got some concerns here. How is that going? You know, the increase in vegetable production, how is that going? Rice production, well, we got a fair sense of how that's going. And it's not a good way. Sheep production, the black belly sheep, how is that going? Last time we saw some of those sheep, they pull in and fall over. How is that going for us? They're telling us they've reduced the imports between 2021 and 2022, agricultural import by 14%. But they don't tell us how they've gotten to that number. But that's the nature of the beast, folks. That's the nature of the beast. And as we wrap up, folks, City Hall says they have found the transport for that land there on Carifesta Avenue that the Qataris are purporting to build a hotel among some other things. City Hall said they've found the transport, brothers and sisters. That's what they're telling us. And at yesterday's statutory meeting, massive piece of real estate there that the government has given to the Qataris. We don't know the cost. We don't know the terms of the contract. We don't know the terms of the deal. We don't know the cost of it. City Hall said it has found the transport, and it has transport for this property. You remember the Lantern surveyors came out the other day and said they got poor view. Well, City Hall said City Hall circulated the transport to its councillors at yesterday's statutory meeting, they're telling us. Circulated the transport. The mayor himself, Alfred Mentor, is adamant that the issue of ownership of the lands should be urgently attended to, and he's seeking the suspension, or rather sought the suspension of the council standing order to deal with the matter yesterday. I think they said they'll be now writing to Irfan Ali on this matter and issuing a cease and desist order to the Qataris as it concerns this land. Right? A motion was moved to this effect, as council agreed that a letter should be sent to President Irfan Ali in an effort to resolve this matter. As you know, they have said the Qataris are investing 300 million US in a Qatari hotel on these lands here. This is the old NIS ground, the GNS ground combined. We don't know the terms of the deal that our own government are entering into with a foreign company. We don't know the terms of the deal. But that's how things are done in this country. There's a lot of backroom business. And as you know by now, they've turned the sod on this project recently. Big fanfare. Millions of dollars spent just to turn sod. Jill Ward, Audrey Brown, Ravindra Jamwant, Rena Cummins. Rena, I haven't forgotten you still on that issue. As an aside, Rena, I haven't forgotten you. City Hall said it has the transport for this land. It produced the transport for the council. Yesterday, they said they are now going to move to writing the president, engaging here finally on this matter. It's a wickedness you keep seeing in this administration all the time. A high-handedness you keep seeing in them all the time. Good folks. And we're going to continue to pursue these matters. We have more information. Good folks, we're going to share it with you. Yeah. City Hall said it has the transport, produced the transport for its councillors at a recently concluded statutory meeting, and the decision of the council is to issue a cease and desist order and try to engage the big ones. But you know, if them ain't rolling over like this, nobody want to give back money that pass. Nobody want to give back money and have to pop up themselves to the Qataris. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Consider it done. You can imagine them in the pomposity. Consider it done. You can imagine them. Consider it done. But I think I know what happened here, folks. I think I know what transpired here. I'll tell you that. Right? I'll tell you that. Think I got a fair understanding what went down here. Think I got a fair understanding. Think it easy? It's not easy. Think I got a fair understanding. Two persons maybe went up to Qatar, a registered company, and then come back and say, oh, it's the Qataris. It's they want the land. It's foreign investment. 300 million. Oh, we saw this movie before. We saw the, look at the land here. Huh? You think Tobago would ever sell out beachfront property like that? And Tobagonians don't know the terms of the deal? Oh, we sit down too quiet here. Sit down too quiet here. City Hall said got the transport. The ball is in here, front court now. Jaguar court. I could imagine them to the club. Don't bother with them. Don't bother with City Hall. We got to start the control. We say the thing is yours, your own Qataris. Could imagine them in all the pomposity. Don't bother with them. You see how the sea is receding? Why don't give them some of the land? See how the sea is going back forward and forward? Give them some of the land. Reclaim some and give them. But leave this lush vegetation, open space to our people. We mustn't have anything. We mustn't have anything. We mustn't own anything. Huh? We mustn't own anything. Shucks. Please and thank you. That's what we're following, folks. Let's see how it goes. And those are the first 15 things we think you ought to know about. As we begin the day today, folks, we take our leave. We take our leave. That being said, we take our leave, and we want to thank all of you guys who tuned in this morning. I see hundreds of you on our official Facebook page at Credible Sources. Share that broadcast for us, please and thank you. Do us a big favor. If you found any value in our program this morning, share the live for us. Smash that emoji button as well, good folks. That's going to do it for us, folks. The heart finish. That's our time, and that's our program. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Onessa Wardeeds and Forbes and Auntie Sandra, Magnell, Onessa, Maxine, Edward. Good to see each and every one of you on the live, folks. Rabindra Prasad, that's going to do it for us. That's our time, and that's our program. Stay safe. Guys, stay safe. We're going to see you in the next one. Rastaman, take care. Gwyneth Anderson, Gilali Cock, Carlton Smith, Forbes, take care. Please and thank you. Have a great day.